Have you ever wondered why conflicts arise in relationships? This question has likely crossed our minds at some point, as we all strive for harmonious connections with those we hold dear. So, let's delve into the common triggers for conflicts in relationships. First off, we have financial stress. Money matters can be a significant source of strain and can spark disagreements. Whether it's about how to save, spend, or distribute finances, differing perspectives can lead to conflict. It's not necessarily the lack of money that causes the tension, but the lack of alignment in financial values and goals. Next up is the lack of quality time. In our fast-paced world, finding time to connect with our partners can be challenging. When quality time becomes scarce, it can lead to feelings of neglect and dissatisfaction, which can then trigger conflicts. Misunderstandings, too, play a significant role in sparking disagreements. Misinterpretations can stem from a variety of factors such as poor communication, jumping to conclusions, or even cultural differences. These misunderstandings can build up over time, leading to resentment and ultimately conflict. And finally, let's talk about differences in personal habits. We all have our quirks and routines that make us unique. However, when these habits clash with those of our partners, it can create tension. These differences, if not addressed, can lead to annoyances and disagreements. These triggers, financial stress, lack of quality time, misunderstandings, and differences in personal habits, are often the root causes of disagreements and misunderstandings in relationships. They can seem insignificant at first, but can snowball into larger issues if not addressed. But here's the good news. By identifying these triggers, we can better understand where our conflicts stem from. And with this understanding, we can start to navigate these disagreements more effectively, fostering healthier and more fulfilling relationships. So as we wrap up this first scene, remember this. Understanding these triggers is the first step towards navigating conflicts more effectively. And with that, we're ready to dive into the role of communication breakdowns, unmet needs, and differing expectations in our next scene. Stay tuned. How often do you find yourself in a dispute that stems from a simple communication breakdown, unmet needs, or differing expectations? Let's consider the role of each of these factors in sparking conflict. Communication breakdowns can often be the spark that ignites a disagreement. They occur when messages aren't conveyed or understood as intended. Perhaps you've experienced a moment when a casual comment was misinterpreted, leading to an unexpected argument. It's like playing a high-stakes game of telephone, where the message gets distorted along the way, and the result can be a full-blown conflict. Now let's talk about unmet needs. We all have needs in our relationships, whether they're emotional, physical, or otherwise. When these needs aren't met, it can lead to feelings of dissatisfaction, resentment, or even anger. Imagine a scenario where one person in a relationship craves emotional connection while the other yearns for more personal space. If these needs aren't communicated and understood, it can become a breeding ground for conflict. Finally, differing expectations. These are the invisible scripts we carry in our minds of how we believe our relationships should be. If you envision a partnership where chores are split 50-50, but your partner sees them as your responsibility, it's easy to see how conflict can arise. When our expectations don't align and aren't discussed openly, they become silent tripwires, ready to set off an argument at any moment. Recognizing the role of communication breakdowns, unmet needs, and differing expectations in conflict is a crucial step towards improving your relationship. It allows us to understand the roots of our disagreements and gives us the tools to navigate them more effectively. It's not just about avoiding conflict, it's about understanding where it comes from so that we can address it in a way that strengthens our relationships rather than damaging them. Recognizing these factors can help you navigate conflicts and improve your relationship. Ever wondered why understanding the sources of conflict can help navigate conflicts more effectively? Let's delve into this. Imagine a garden with a weed problem. If you simply cut off the tops of the weeds, they'll grow back, right? But if you understand that the real issue lies beneath the surface in the roots, you can address the problem more effectively. You pull out the weed from the root and voila, no more weed. The same principle applies to conflicts in relationships. Conflicts aren't just about the surface issues, they're often about deeper underlying issues. Understanding these sources is like finding the root of the weed. It equips you with the tools to address the real problem rather than just managing the symptoms. Now, you might ask, how does this understanding help in conflict resolution? Well, when you understand the source of a conflict, you're better able to address it directly. You can tailor your responses and actions to the real issue rather than getting sidetracked by surface-level disagreements. For instance, if your partner is upset because you're late for dinner, the surface issue might seem to be about punctuality, but the underlying source could be a feeling of disrespect or not being valued. By understanding this, you can address the real issue and reassure your partner that you value and respect them. Moreover, understanding the sources of conflict can also help prevent future conflicts. When you know what triggers conflicts in your relationship, you can work proactively to avoid those triggers. It's like learning the layout of a minefield, so you can navigate it without setting off any mines. Finally, understanding the sources of conflict can improve the quality of your relationship. It fosters empathy and understanding, reduces resentment, and promotes open and honest communication. And let's face it, who wouldn't want a relationship filled with understanding, honesty, and empathy? In conclusion, understanding the sources of conflict in relationships is like having a roadmap to navigate the tricky terrain of disagreements. It's not about avoiding conflicts, but about managing them in a way that strengthens your relationship rather than damaging it. Knowledge is power. Knowing the source of a conflict empowers you to address it effectively. Do you know the role of effective communication in resolving disagreements? Today, we're going to delve into some strategies that can help to resolve conflicts and foster a healthy dialogue. The first strategy is active listening. Active listening is more than just hearing the words that are being said. It's about fully engaging, showing empathy, and understanding the other person's perspective. This means not interrupting, offering feedback, and restating what you've heard to ensure clarity. By doing this, you demonstrate respect and show that you genuinely care about what the other person has to say. Next, let's discuss the importance of using I statements. When we use you statements, it often comes across as blaming and can put the other person on the defensive. Instead, try expressing how you feel and what you need using I statements. For instance, instead of saying, "You never help with the dishes," you might say, "I feel overwhelmed when I'm left to do the dishes alone." This way, you're taking ownership of your feelings and expressing a need rather than blaming. Now it's time to offer some tips for expressing thoughts and feelings clearly and assertively. It's crucial to be direct yet respectful when expressing your thoughts and emotions. Be honest, but avoid using harsh words that can escalate the situation. The goal is to express your feelings without attacking the other person's character. One helpful technique is to practice what you want to say beforehand. This can help you to express your feelings more clearly and confidently. Remember, assertiveness is about standing up for your rights while respecting those of others. It's not about being aggressive or passive, but finding a balance between the two. By incorporating these strategies, you can help to resolve disagreements more effectively. Active listening, using I statements, and expressing your thoughts and feelings assertively can lead to a deeper understanding, mutual respect, and a stronger bond. Effective communication is the key to resolving disagreements and improving your relationship. By practicing these strategies, you can create a more harmonious and understanding environment in your relationships. So, what have we learned today about sources of conflict and communication strategies? In our journey to better understand the dynamics of relationships, we've identified a few key triggers for conflicts. These can range from trivial matters to more significant issues, but what's crucial to remember is that it's often not the trigger itself, but our reaction to it that escalates a situation. We've also delved into the role of communication breakdowns, unmet needs, and differing expectations in sparking conflict. When communication breaks down, misunderstandings can arise, and emotions can run high. Unmet needs can leave one feeling unfulfilled, leading to resentment over time. Differing expectations, on the other hand, can lead to disappointment and frustration when they're not aligned. Understanding these sources of conflict is the first step in navigating disputes more effectively. It's like being given a map to navigate a dense forest. You're less likely to get lost, and if you do, you'll have a better idea of how to find your way back. But what's a map without a compass? That's where effective communication strategies come in. We've explored active listening techniques, which involve fully engaging with and responding to your partner. This not only shows respect, but also leads to a deeper understanding of each other's viewpoints. We've discussed the importance of using I statements and avoiding blaming language. Remember, it's not about pointing fingers, but expressing how you feel and what you need. This can transform a potentially damaging confrontation into a constructive conversation. Finally, we've shared tips for expressing thoughts and feelings clearly and assertively. It's not about being aggressive, but about standing up for your needs in a respectful and honest way. This can help to prevent resentment from building up and pave the way for mutual understanding and compromise. So, in a nutshell, understanding the sources of conflict and mastering effective communication strategies are fundamental in resolving disagreements and fostering a healthier relationship. Remember, understanding and communication are the keys to a healthy and happy relationship.